Move out of the way.
When there's a vehicle coming, or move out the way of the vehicle?
Vehicle coming.
Yeah, it goes up left hand side, doesn't it?
Move out of the way now.
I told you where the boundary is.
Come on then.
Don't.
Welcome to Rate the Audit, where we expose misconduct, analyze police and legal encounters, protect civil rights, and demand accountability. This episode is brought to us by Power to the Proletariat. Make sure to check the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, Auditor Proletariat conducts one of his boldest audits yet, right outside the Peterborough police station. What begins as simple, peaceful filming quickly escalates when two sergeants rush out, attempting to intimidate him and force him away, despite there being no signage indicating the area is private. But Proletariat stands firm, calm, confident, and well-versed in the law. As more officers arrive, he maintains his ground, turning the moment into a masterclass on knowing your rights and exposing poor policing.
In this episode, Auditor Proletariat brings us one of the boldest audits yet, right outside Peterborough Police Station. What starts as peaceful filming quickly turns into chaos when two sergeants storm out, trying to intimidate and remove him from the area, even though there's no clear signage showing it's private. But Proletariat doesn't back down. Calm, confident, and legally sharp, he stands his ground as more officers arrive.
Before even identifying himself, the sergeant lays hands on Proletariat and starts pushing him back as if he's a criminal, completely ignoring the code of ethics, which requires officers to communicate and de-escalate before using any force. When Proletariat calmly says he is walking away, that should have ended the situation. Instead, the sergeant continues shoving him, crossing both legal and professional boundaries. And when Proletariat, clearly shocked, swears out of frustration, the sergeant responds with, "Don't act like a knob." A sergeant is supposed to set the standard, not drop below it. His responsibility was to de-escalate, identify himself, and act respectfully. Instead, he showed the public exactly what abuse of authority looks like, a man using his badge as a license to bully.
Pardon? Where the boundary line is. We don't mind you filming, but you need to be off.
Who are you guys? Sergeant.
Come on.
Okay.
Then walk then.
There was no need to get physical. I'm walking away. You can stop touching me now, because I'm walking away. You can stop touching me now.
Walking,
Sergeant 1096.
That's me.
I am walking away, and you're still touching me.
You're not walking away.
I am. Am I not walking? How was I not walking away?
Turn and face that way.
You're a fucking dickhead, mate. That's what you are. F off. Tell me not to swear. I can swear over you if I want to. There's no need to push me like that.
We've told you where the boundary is.
Yeah?
Get out.
And I'm walking back. Why the f are you pushing me like that for? You absolute bellend.
Because of your attitude.
You're a
So
bellend.
move over there.
You're a bellend.
Get off the ramp.
Move over there, please.
You're a bellend.
For emergency vehicles, get off the ramp.
There's no yellow box here saying I can't block it. You're a bellend.
Move out the way.
I'm quite capable of moving out the way of vehicles by myself.
Move out the way.
When there's a vehicle coming, or move out the way of the vehicle?
Vehicle coming. Move.
Yeah, it goes up left hand side, doesn't
Move
it?
out of the way now.
I told you where the boundary is.
Come on then.
Don't act like a knob.
You're the one pushing me.
Yes.
I know I'm on the pavement and I'm on here now and you still pushed me. You still pushed me.
Right, don't come on.
You're a bellend.
Okay.
The plainclothes officer's reasoning is legally meaningless. Just because something looks like it belongs to the police doesn't automatically make it private land. If there is no barrier, no fence, and no signage indicating restricted access, then legally the area is considered publicly accessible. The public holds an implied right to be there unless that access is clearly revoked. Simply being outside a police station does not erase that right. The officers claim it's private because it's a police station shows a poor understanding of public accountability. Police property isn't a fortress. It's taxpayer-funded and meant to be accessible at designated points. Without visible signs or barriers, Proletariat was completely within his rights to stand there and film.
Okay.
Who's your inspector? What's your collar number there?
1096.
Yours?
95, right,
1995. I'm trying to read your collar number. You're a bellend, both you. Sergeant's my ass. You wait till your inspector gets hold of this. Dickhead. Is there an inspector on duty at the station today?
There'll be many inspectors inside.
Yeah. Well, I've just what I believe to be assaulted by two sergeants. So if you can get an inspector out, I'd love to report that to them. I'm happy to show them the footage. There was nothing saying that it's private property, no unauthorised access or anything like that.
Of course, do you want? I'll talk plainly.
Yeah.
I won't
That's cool.
around. Okay. There are different people who audit and things like that.
Sure.
Sometimes people try and push buttons like that, so I'll just speak plainly.
Yeah, that's cool. No worries.
I get there's nothing there. Yeah, we've got a simple barrier. There's no fence in there. I appreciate that. I'll let you know at the moment now. This is private property. I'm sure you can appreciate we do have to keep areas secure, as secure as can be. It's not very secure without a fence there, but that's
Well, exactly. I mean, there's
yeah,
a big old footpath
absolutely.
coming up from the grass verge there.
In fairness, I'd say you probably do know this is private property because it is a police station. Okay?
I mean, everything in the UK is private property, though, really, isn't it?
Looking at the sign completely exposes how wrong the sergeant was from the beginning. It doesn't say no public access or restricted area. It simply instructs pedestrians to use the front entrance. That's guidance, not a legal prohibition. The sergeant treated it like a no entry order, when in reality nothing on that sign removes the public's right to be there. This proves proletariat was standing in a publicly accessible space, and the sergeant had no lawful authority to lay hands on him or force him back. If the police truly want an area to be off limits, the signage must clearly say so, and it must be backed by legislation or bylaws.
I'm not a civil lawyer and all that, so I'm not going to get that. I can't really have you around here, if don't mind, okay? It's nothing because there's not hiding anything, but ultimately it's a working yard. There are vehicles that will fly out here responding to immediate
Sure. As soon as I hear blue light sirens, I'll be out of the way.
Yeah,
no,
but
there's no issue with
I
that.
can't have you here anyway because it is a secure area.
In the meantime, I'm waiting at the moment. I'm going to get every single vehicle, private, personal, whatever it is, coming in and out.
That's
it's going to be included on my footage.
But then if you could do that, could you do that from outside the private
I mean, to
property?
be fair, the sergeants actually said I was fine there. That's where they physically pushed me to. And even when I was on there, they continued to push me.
If you come, I'll show you. As far as I know, and again,
So the sergeants actually said that this sign here was the demarcation of the property, which clearly it's not, because it just says pedestrians to use front entrance, that's exit.
yeah, no, that'll
but
obviously be for notifying people who want to come speak to us where
yeah,
to go.
exactly.
Right?
So there's no demarcation. That's not a demarcation of your boundary.
What I was going to say is normally I use the tree line. Okay, there is no physical line. There is no like it's that imaginary line. There is going to be a line somewhere which denotes the property boundary. If the sergeant says it's here, I'm not going to argue. I'd naturally say I think the tree line forms a kind of a natural barrier.
I don't negotiate with under. The plainclothes officer openly admits he doesn't even know where the property line is. Yet he's already prepared to force proletariat behind it once his sergeant gives the order. That's not policing, that's improvisation. You cannot enforce a rule that doesn't exist. If they genuinely believed it was private land, the boundary would already be mapped, signed, and legally documented. Proletariat's response was spot on. It's not about what officers think, it's about what can be proven. Property boundaries and access points are determined by the council, not the police. If the officers cannot point to a legal map, a sign, or an order restricting entry, then the area is public. Full stop.
But then, fine,
really.
if the sergeant says that, I'm not going to argue.
But then the sergeant also saw me stood there on the very corner of the thing and said nothing either about me being there.
Okay.
He was literally watching me from the window for a good 5 minutes.
Do you know the
stood
sergeant's name?
1096 and 1995 were their collar numbers.
Were they a response sergeant?
They came out of that building up there, whatever it is up there.
If you don't mind, if you just stay here with my colleague, I'm going to go and speak to the sergeant up there and make sure that that's correct, that he's told me where to, he's told you to stand. Yeah. Because, like I say, I normally use the tree line because it kind of makes a natural barrier. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I understand that it does create a sort of natural barrier, but unless you have these to show me where the boundary is, and there's nothing to stop me accessing, there's nothing to say where your property starts and where it ends.
No,
so there's nowhere for you to realistically say, this is our property. You can't be stand here. You can only stand here.
But let's try and work together and be reasonable. Because
I mean,
at the end of the day,
you are being reasonable, and I do appreciate that. But because of the behaviour of your sergeant, I'm not going to be reasonable with you.
If the police truly want to prevent public access, they should install a clear physical barrier. That is how every other organization marks private land. It's practical, lawful, and eliminates confusion. The officer even agrees at first, proving he knows proletariat is correct. But he quickly backtracks, saying, then people will say, what are the police keeping out? That isn't a reason, it's an excuse. What this shows is that they want it both ways. The authority of private property without the responsibility of marking it. They would rather rely on confusion to control access than simply put up proper fencing or signage.
And I'm not saying I'm going to be rude to you, but in terms of negotiating where I can and cannot stand, I'm not going to negotiate that with you based on their behaviour.
I understand
not
that.
on yours, and I want you to understand that.
Then, so I'm upfront and clear with you, just so I am fair with you, okay? I'm going to go and clarify that, all right? And if they've said, wherever, I will have to enforce a level of, like, if we say this is where the barrier is, I'll have to ask you to stand on the other side of that.
Okay, and if you force me to move physically to a place, I will check where your boundary is with the local council, and if you have moved me to a place that you have no right to move me physically, you will be liable for reprimand under that. I will be filing. They're already getting complaints of it, IOPC. And until you're 100% sure where your boundary is, regardless of what your sergeant says, because unless they can prove where your boundary is, you can't move somebody physically.
And
you can't.
I'm trying to be reasonable, okay? So
Just let my colleague double check and we'll come back.
I totally get your point, all right, and that's why I'm going to go and do everything I can and try and check with them, okay? I get what you're saying there, and like I said, all I'm asking is to try and be reasonable, meet each other.
And again, I'm saying it's not because of you, because you have been reasonable, but because of them, I'm not negotiating.
Just bear with me, all right? Okay?
I don't negotiate with